Good morning and welcome to More M.E.E. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about the vehicle mode, or the dinosaur mode, of Transformers Studio Series 86 Swoop. And we're also going to be doing a compare and contrast, and at the end of today's video, we'll talk about what is the best of the Dinobots, in my opinion. I'll give them a ranking 5 to 1 in the sense of, what is the worst, and 2, what is the best, in my opinion. Which ones have I enjoyed the most as a Transformers fan? And as a Transformers fan who loves things like transformations, and which ones I've kind of been like on. So please stay tuned to the end of the video to check out that. And yeah, without further ado, oh yeah, and one more thing, please go below and hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Also, I'm going to be at MegaCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida tomorrow, February 7th at 11 a.m. I'm going to be in the Transformers panel, listening to Evan talk about all the cool things that he has planned for Transformers, and hopefully getting a chance to meet him. So if you want a chance to meet me, or you want to say hi, look for me. I'm going to be the blind guy in the leather hat. I hope I'm easy to find, but you never know. That place can be crowded. So let's get into today's Transformer and talk about the pros and the cons of Swoop. Swoop is a fun Transformer. But Swoop has also got some problems. And I never am a person to hold back when it comes to little Transformers. I got little Wheelie here as an example. So first off, little size comparison here. We got Wheelie. We could park actually Wheelie just kind of on Swoop's back in vehicle mode. Yay, Wheelie. Wheelie can also just kind of drive across Swoop's wing. Because Swoop's wing is so big, it can just hold a Wheelie in vehicle mode. And I think that's kind of fun. And also, let's see, can we open the mouth? And he's got a big mouth, so maybe he can hold a big Wheelie. Can you hold a big Wheelie in your big mouth, Swoop? Can you hold a big Wheelie? I don't think Swoop can hold the Wheelie in his mouth. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe if we manage to hook something. Nope. Okay. Well, he can't fit him in his mouth, but there's a Wheelie. And for size comparison, I'll slip him over there next to Cup. So this guy is very well sculpted. This is a very well sculpted and very, very nicely textured Dinobot. He has gone above and beyond. There's like little rivets on his head. There's nice little sleek lines. There's smoothness happening everywhere on this guy in different ways. It is a treat to the fingertips. This is, all of these Dinobots have been a treat to the fingertips, but especially this guy. It seems like they understood they weren't making the biggest leader class, and they understood that the transformation was going to be kind of simple. So what they tried to do was tried to make up for it by giving you as many textures as they could. And wow, they gave you a lot of textures here. It's everywhere. It's easier to count the places that don't have textures. There's like 1 and 2, and there's a spot there, and there's this little spot there, and there's a little spot there. That makes it 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And there's nothing on the head, so that's a 9. But you get what I'm getting at. Like, this is wild. I appreciate this and how well it's sculpted. When it comes to the sculpting, this is some top-notch stuff. I also appreciate that even whenever they were going into a waffling direction with these wings, where they left out chunks of plastic, they still took the time to texture the inside and sculpt out the interior, so that even though it's missing a piece of plastic, it doesn't feel like it's missing anything. It just feels like maybe that's a piece of armor that fell off during battle or something, because there's all this detail that you can feel underneath the armor panels. And I love that. I love that about this figure. Don't get me wrong. This guy has been excellent when it comes to how he feels. I love how those little rockets feel. I like how they, combine to the shoulders, and they really do make him have a nice silhouette. And I like how, his under area feels too. He's got one of the most complete all-around transformations. There's nice smooth lines and all sorts of things going on down here. He's even got vents, and I love it. I love everything about this guy when it comes to this stuff. I really do enjoy the sculpting. And as a blind person, this is the way I see. I see by feeling. And I really appreciate it whenever they go out of their way to give us a lot of things to feel, because it makes me see it better. I can see it much more clearly when there's a lot of things to feel and give me ideas on what it does. And that's what this is all about. And I appreciate the fact that his chest is kind of equal on both sides, but it feels like there's little things that are different, small little differences between left and right, and I appreciate that. I think that's neat. Now, the underside doesn't really have much more going on. We've got the little Dinobot legs sticking out and his little toesy woesies that you can fold up if you want, or you can fold out and have him just kind of sitting on his toes. I do wish that he had a bit more articulation with the legs, and I do wish that they had included the flip-out landing gear that his G1 self had. That was cool stuff. I liked the flip-out landing gear. I thought it was kind of funny that here's this dinosaur, but he still has flip-out landing gear, and it was neat. And I wanted to see it again with this guy, and I didn't get that. So that was definitely a negative on him. Now, weight-wise, he is a hefty guy. He weighs up there with the rest of them. They didn't skimp out on the plastic, and he's dense, too. He is a dense transformer. But as robot mode, as dino mode goes, we've got Cup here. So we can do a little size comparison with Cup and the dino mode, because there's that scene in the movie where Swoop is like, Swoop Wild Story, Swoop Wild Story. And it's just wild to see how massive the head of this Dinobot is compared to Cup. Like, geez, these Dinobots are big. And Cup here is not a small deluxe, but he doesn't match up. Can we put Cup's head inside of his mouth? Yeah, we can actually put Cup's head inside of the mouth of Swoop, just as a little bit of funness. And yeah, so Cup and Swoop together, I think that's a nice little combo. We're gonna set that off to the side and off to the. Oh, what are you standing on? Oh, all the pile of swords. Because I just kind of tossed all the swords off to the side. So, as Dinobot modes go, I'm going to give this mode a C+. I do think that they could have done more with it. Maybe they could have given us the landing gear. Maybe they could have figured out some more panels in order to smooth out this big bulbous end on his back where the legs fold over. I think that area needed to be smoothed out a bit more and lowered down just a bit. But yeah, it's a good transformer, and he's a good Dinobot, and it's nice to have the completion to the team, but it's still like, I appreciate Swoop and everything like that, but yeah, I gotta give the Dino mode C+, because the Dino mode is severely lacking in things. I do wish it had a bit more, and I do wish that the articulation was a bit better. I don't like the fact that these arms actually clip to the underside of the wing. I wish they clipped to the body itself so that this wing could have a little more articulation. But instead, if you pick this wing up, you've now disconnected it from the arm. And it just kind of slips back into that arm. And that is a very, in my opinion, that's a pretty lazy transformation step right there. Now, I do like the fact that you can fold the wings over a little bit, but I do think that if we had managed to get rid of these arms and have them disappear, then we could have actually had a better fold over for the wings. I think that would have looked nicer. But, oh well. This is definitely not something that, oh yeah, that wing's supposed to be, I mistransformed that wing. But I do wish the wings could fold over more. I wish there was a little more articulation in these wings. The head's all right. It's got some decent articulation, though I wish it could look left and right. It can only go up and down, and it's a missed opportunity. I do wish they had managed to put in just a simple hinge to allow his head to move left and right. It would have been a lot more fun. A little ball joint maybe. But that's his Dino mode. I wish I could say more about it, but there's not much more to say about it. It is a very simple Dino mode. There's not much going on here, and yeah. I like him, and I think it's a good ending. I wish this ending was a better ending, but I'll take this ending, because we have gotten worse endings in life with different things. So I appreciate this ending. It's not the one I wanted, but it's definitely a good one. Now let's take him off to the side and let's talk about Dinobots. Let's talk about what is the worst Dinobot and what is the best Dinobot. And as much as I hate to say it, where are you at? Here it is. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to put. Ooh, this is a tough one because it's going to be Slag. Slag is my, if I had to label them all, Slag gets the 5th rating, okay? Slag is, his transformation is a bit annoying, especially when it comes to this headpiece. His robot mode is all right. It stands together pretty well and stuff, but I don't like how the dino mode ended up and how lazy the stupid tail is. And I don't like all the backpack stuff for Slag here when he's in robot mode. These little panels like to fall off pretty easily. And I think that there could have been more with Slag. And that's why he gets the number 5 position. I like him, but there's things that annoy me about him. I'm going to set Slag. What was that? Oh. All right, next step is Sludge. Sludge is definitely the next one on the list. He is number 4. I like Sludge's robot mode. I like Sludge's dinosaur mode. They are excellent modes, and I have him eating a Lego fish. I don't like the fact that Sludge's transformation is a headache, and I dread transforming Sludge. I dread transforming Slag, and I dread transforming Sludge. They are the ones that I just am like, oh god, I gotta transform these guys. Not much fun at all. I wish it was, but getting these panels across his back to connect are simply the worst part of him. Getting all this to level out and squeeze together, it would have been better if the connection ports were bigger for this guy, but for the most part, yeah, he is the 4th. His transformation is terrifying. His dinosaur mode is epic, and his robot mode is pretty good, except for the knee problem that many people have. Set him off over here to the side next to the Sleeping Cream. And next step is Swoop is going to actually be the center point, because Swoop, even though the transformation is stupid simple, Swoop here has a fun transformation. It's something that I don't dread doing. Swoop's, dinosaur mode is decent. I wish it was better, but it's really good. And Swoop's, and honestly, what gets Swoop the 3rd choice is the fact that his transformation is not the headache-inducing, rage-inducing transformation that Sludge has, or the why don't clearance areas exist? Why isn't there clearance? And that's Slag. Slag is just no clearance at all. Something always pops off of Slag when I'm trying to transform him. And Swoop here is just easy peasy lemon squeezy when it comes to the transformation. Swoop's also got a decent robot mode, really nice robot mode in my opinion, and a pretty decent dinosaur mode. Even though it gets a C, it still makes him the middle because of the transformation. Now, my second best Dinobot, in my opinion, will be Grimlock. I like Grimlock. I really do. And I like his dinosaur mode, and I like his robot mode, and I adore the transformation. But the transformation was basically the transformation from G1. And I was really hoping that there would be a little more complicated stuff there. Like Swoop, Grimlock's transformation is stupid simple. And like Swoop, it does hurt him in the scores. Now, to end the video out, you could probably understand who's going first, and it's Snarl. Why do I like Snarl? Well, for one, Snarl's got an awesome head. I like Snarl's big old fat head. He can nom on a wheelie. I like Snarl. I like the fact that Wheelie can drive up this, just hang out between his little things, whatever those Stegosaurus shell things are called. Anyway, Snarl here has a great robot mode. That's a lot of fun to pose. His dinosaur mode is fun. If the tail is the only hindrance there, and that's about it. And it makes him just kind of goofy, looking like a Stegosaurus that's trying to hold in a crap. But What I like most about him is the transformation. He's just fun. This is a fun figure. Snarl is my most fun, and what gives him the most, what makes him clear more points, in my opinion, than Grimlock is what he's got on the tail right here. Because Grimlock doesn't have that because he's a T Rex. Snarl's got the Thagomizer. And if you're a fan of Gary Larson like me, you know how important the Thagomizer is to a Stegosaurus. It was named after the late, great Thaddeus Thag, who got a little too close to a Thagomizer during research. And, named it with his head. I love Gary Larson. It was a fun comic strip, and it just had a bunch of cavemen, and some of them were wearing lab coats, and they're pointing at a cave drawing of these spikes at the end of a Stegosaurus's tail, and the caveman's like, "This is the Thagomizer, named after the late great Thaddeus Thag, who got a little too close during research." It's just such a fun comic strip, and then to learn that they hadn't actually named the stupid spikes on the end of a Stegosaurus's tail before, so they gave the name to Gary Larson, and Gary Larson successfully named a dinosaur part the Thagomizer. I was like, wow, and such a wonderful name for it. It's just such a fun name. Say it with me, Thagomizer. Thagomizer. It's a fun word to say. You end up smiling at the end of it, and isn't that always great? So that's why Snarl is my favorite. He reminds me of Gary Larson, and every time I think of Gary Larson, I smile. And that is what Snarl does for me. That's why Snarl is, in my opinion, the best of the Dinobots. But all the Dinobots are really good, and I am so happy to have them all collected. Thank you all so much for watching me today. And remember, I'm going to be at MegaCon on February 7th at 11 a.m. in that Transformers room. So look for the blind guy in the hat. Until next Prime, I've been Blind Prime, and this thing sleeping way over here off to the side has been Cream the Cat. Bye-bye for now.